When you say internals, okay, the best way to describe it is maybe I'll start off with a theory that we have that's passed down through our school, and it is a Shaolin theory. In the Shaolin, there's this what I call the spectrum of energy, okay, that you use in martial arts. So there are 6 of them. The first is strength, which is physical strength.
Yes.
Yeah, you need basic physical strength because, well, otherwise you can't even go in a low stance, right? So you need a certain physical strength to do martial arts. But the next stage then is Jing, right? In Mandarin it's called Jing, in Cantonese it's called Ging, right? I think Wing Chun talks about that.
Yes.
Yeah. And then follow Ging is Yi. Yi is intention, okay? It's more to do with the mind or the will, you know? Follow that, then only comes Qi. Then after Qi is something we call Shen. Shen literally translates to spirit. Spirit in the sense as human spirit, okay? Or fighting spirit, courage, you know? So it's that sort of meaning rather than the spiritual or God type of meaning of spirit. And the last one is Hui. Hui means emptiness, void. So each of these 6 stages are dependent on the previous one. Meaning to say that you can't have Jing if you don't even have basic Li. You can't have Yi if you don't have Jing, you see. And you can't have Qi if you don't have the other 2, you see. So for us, it's progressive. So it doesn't make sense, say, for us to say jump straight to Qi because that's not going to happen, right? So to us, it's like the school system, right? You've got to go through primary school, secondary school, then high school, right? Then university and so on. You can't jump straight from primary school to university, right? Because there's too big a gap, really. So so the path to internals has to follow these 6 steps, you see, right? So we started with Jing. Now what is Jing? I think Jing, in the simplest way to explain it, or in our terminology, our description of it is Jing is derived from the connective tissue of your body. That means the fascia, the tendons, the ligaments, and also the muscles. But unlike muscular force, I think the one way I would describe it when you use muscles, you contract to exert, right?
Yes.
In Jing is you relax to let the energy out. So think of it this way, is you tense, right? And you release. So it's like pulling a catapult. You store that energy in the tension and then you release. And just as when you release a catapult, or a bow for that matter, you have to release it totally. You don't try to do it that way,
yes.
Right? You don't shoot a catapult this way, no. Because the stone will just boom, right? So that's why strength is the antithesis of Jing, you see. So when you have strength, you're actually countering your Jing. That's how we feel it. That's why the concept of Song, being loose, is so important, you see. Because if you don't be Song, your Jing cannot be released.
Oh, that makes sense.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's how it goes, you see. And Yi is the mind, controlling where the energy go, how the energy should flow, where it should go to. Now, the best way I would describe it is, think of it as, I use an engineering analogy, okay? You have an electric train. You know, electric train is very fast, it's very powerful, right? But you have big current and big voltages that drives the motors, right? Probably 800 volts, I don't know, maybe 30, 80 amps or something, right? But what controls those motors? You know, the guy at the driver of the train has this little lever that makes it go forward, backwards, faster, slower, right? That control circuit is at a much lower voltage. It's probably running at 24 volts, you see,
yes.
Right? But it's that control circuit that drives the motors, you see, that tells the motors what to do. To me, that is what E is. It's the control circuit that governs your Jing and later on your Qi, you see. Okay, so per se, it's not an energy, but it's something that controls and drives that energy. Okay, that's what E is. That's why intention is important, right? Because without that, then you don't have the fine control. Okay, then Qi is harder to explain. To me, the way I would explain it is, it's just a different kind of energy. Just as you use physical force or you use the kinetic or potential force, right? In Jing, the stretching of the rubber band. Think of Qi is, I would say, okay, this way. compare a steam train versus an electric train. They both do the same thing, right? They can pull many carriages. But on a steam train, there's a lot of sound and effects, right? You got steam, you got the sound and all that. But electric train is silent, but it can go just as fast, if not faster than a steam train. It's just a total different energy system. To me, that's what Qi is. Okay, so and associated with Qi, then you have a different system. That's how you develop, you know, you have how to generate the Qi, how you store the Qi, and how you make the Qi flow, right? So it's a complete system there, subsystem there. Then Shen is, you can think of it as aura. Okay, one way to describe it is maybe some people, you know, when you look at them, you know that they're someone who's very aggressive or very fierce. You don't want to fight with them, you know. Or someone may look very calm, but you know inside, yeah, you know, they've got something inside. You don't want to mess with them. Yes. That is Shen. Okay, so somehow your sixth sense, or maybe your aura is interacting with the other person's aura, and it tells you not to do things or to do certain things. So those who are good in Shen can interact through the aura. And it's my belief, I don't know, okay, because my standard is not quite there yet. That is what all this non-touch thing is all about, you see, because you're interacting at the Shen level. Okay, it's not that it's false, but it's just that, you know, it can happen, right? And you can use it as part of training, but maybe you can't use it as an application. Okay. And for the last part, the emptiness part, I haven't got there yet. At this point in time, I've got no clue what that is. Okay. Right? So that is our Shaolin theory on how you progress on the path to internal energy. So basically, aside from Li, the first one, once you start in the Jing, then you're already talking of internal energy. And internal energy has got multiple steps there.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And these internal methods, is this something that you start training almost straight away if you're learning the 5 ancestor arts? Is it something that you start to learn from the beginning?
Yes. The way I begin to teach it, right? It is, because before you can even talk about the internal energy, the first thing is structure.
Yes.
Okay. Now, structure means many things to many people, right? But at a very basic level is, what I'm trying to say is your body, being a human body, one has got 2 limbs, 2 legs, right, and a spine. Your body is wired in a certain way. And when you maintain a certain position, then your physical self becomes much stronger, right? It's like, think of structure as the framework, you know, of pillars and columns that hold up a building. So you have a strong framework, then your whole body and structure will be strong. So the structure is that, but the structure is more than that, you know. It's that alignment of ligaments and so on that gives you that strength, you see. Now one. The other thing, number 2, is once you know how to use your structure, not only can you receive passive forces, right? But you then begin to generate, it's your structure that allows you to generate power. Right? So once you know how to do that, then it's by tensing, relaxing certain tendons, certain muscles, right? Or certain chain of muscles, I would say. And that is then what gives you the Jing and the rest of the internal power. Then, yeah, basically it's that. Then of course you're coupled with breathing, yes, and so on, you see. Yes. So when we train, in fact, for us, our forms, let's say you do the first form, San Jin, the form itself is very deep because the movement itself can be used to train the internals as well. Okay? And it's also got the techniques for applications and so on built into it. So when you train a form, there are multiple aspects of training the form.